Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of the podcast. As usual, I'm with my guys. We're here to rep the Euros. See, we're also wearing our, Team Germany over here.
Coming home, mate.
Italia.
Coming home, mate.
Yeah, man, chosen England. Come on, bro.
I'm actually just wearing this to troll them, to be honest. It ain't coming nowhere close to home. Nowhere close. Not even.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Hope everyone's good. Hope you guys, how's you guys' week been?
I'm sure it's good.
Busy.
I'm sure it's been good.
Busy as usual. Just trying to get through the weeks. I feel like somehow you just have to get through the weeks, honestly, because it's not like we're in like Europe where like they get like so many vacation days. You just have to keep working. Just get
Yeah,
through the week. Look forward to the weekends. I think it's a long weekend, so it should be
oh
fun.
yeah, for sure. Looking forward to that. But yeah. So, anyways, let's get into it. So today's episode it's all about the knockout round for Euros. They completed the games today, so all three games have been played for all groups, and now we have the matchup for round of 16. So we're just going to spend this episode going through those games and ultimately predicting how we think it's all going to end now that we
Yeah.
have the
I
matchups.
I think we can also give our take on like the Euros and like Copa America. Just what we've seen so far in these tournaments. I don't know if you want to compare it to AFCON. I'm not really like I don't know. I feel like I already asked this question. Like a tournament's more interesting when they score more goals, or is it like controversy, or is it like style of play? Like
In my opinion, my humble opinion, I feel like tournaments are way more interesting when like there's controversies and also when there's goals. Like just enter. I won't just say controversies. I say when there's like entertaining things that happen. So, for example, it could be VAR decisions that are going wrong. It could be dribbles and skills that are memorable. It could be outrageous goals from like long distance or acrobatic goals. It could be just what we really love about the sport itself. If we see those kind of things happening during any tournament, those tournaments are almost unforgettable. And I feel like this tournament has had very little of things like that to give us to like remember, like things that we can hold on to. Yes, the football has been sound, it has been interesting, it's good quality all around, but it's kind of stale. It's kind of like it doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth. It's like when you go to an Italian restaurant, the food is good, but like when you leave the restaurant, you don't think about the food. You just want to go home and eat your own rice or jollof. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how the food is. That's how the tournament has been, in my opinion, for me, Sha. So, um,
as
and I, I was sorry. Let me just finish. I was going with the take on Twitter when one guy was asking. I think it was the Euros prior to 2016, even 2016 were all amazing, memorable. But since then, it's been a bit not memorable. I don't think any one of us even recalls what happened in Euro 2020. It's just like just happened, but we know it happened, but we don't really know what happened. So yeah, that's how this tournament is looking, in my opinion.
I think especially for fans or citizens of like whatever country you're from, those are people that it's more memorable for because you go to the games, you support like, you know, somewhat like some players that you may know personally or anything like that. Just like for us, like AFCON was like super interesting to some extent, just because we watched every game that Nigeria played, and even other countries as well that they were either seen as like rivals. I guess like three of us would have watched like majority of the games that are played in AFCON, but generally like you just support the country that you're from, right? With the Euros, just watching objectively, like there's been this lack of like excitement or like suspense or thrill. I'm not looking for like a movie. I know I'm using like movie terms, but like just some form of like kick to it where it's like you're excited to see what happens in the next game. It's kind of like each team like we just wanted to win the first game or second game, and then like towards the end, they're just like, you know what, like let's just see it out. Like I mean, the third place team the third best or the worst best makes it anyway. So like we just have to be there. Like for example, like the Netherlands game, like that was probably one of the most fun games I had watched, right? But like even some of the quality of the goals, like I wasn't super excited by them. I wasn't super like I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting, and that's been like a common theme across all the games that I've seen so far. So yeah, that's been my take on the Euros currently.
Yeah, well, I most definitely disagree. I think for me, Euros have been very good. Like I've really enjoyed it. And for me, what makes a very good tournament, honestly, is goals. I personally am not a fan of the controversy, especially when it comes to wrong calls, because for me, right, it's like if they were meant to give a penalty but they didn't, or like they gave a wrong red card and things like that, yeah, the controversy brings attention to the tournament and everything. But ultimately, for me, it doesn't count as fair. So, even just looking back at World Cup, there are a lot of penalties that people believe like Argentina shouldn't have gotten and things like that, right? So you have a lot of people looking back at that tournament and saying, FIFA gave Messi the World Cup and things like that. So, you know, I mean, that might have been fun for some people, but at the same time, it can also be seen as like, okay, that wasn't a fair tournament, quote unquote. So for me, it's goals. Like as long as there are goals, right? Again, it's an international tournament, so there aren't that many games anyways, right? So it's goals for me, but I've enjoyed the Euro so far. Even the games where there've been some quote unquote upsets, like even Portugal losing today, right? Like that was a game like I actually enjoyed watching. And there's been other games like that, even from some of the more random teams. But yeah, I personally think I've definitely enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to like more of the bigger team matchups that we'll probably get in like quarters and semis. So yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting take for sure. I don't know, especially I think most of the games that I've watched with teams like England, like who I thought, would have like a very interesting tournament. I keep using the word interesting because there's been a lack of that for me from what I've been watching. There's been a lack of teams trying to take risks and they call it like tournament style play, where it's like you play very like um conservative and you're trying your best to not concede rather than playing to win. And for me, that's probably like the worst kind of football. Like it's very boring. And
But on that point though, I think England, if you watch, say you watch 5 games and 3 of those games are England, just for example, right? There's no way you think the tournament has been good, because I've watched all 3 of England's games and those games are horrible. Like they are horrible watches. Do you get? And even the most random teams I've watched this Euros, I've enjoyed the games like 10 times more than I enjoyed watching England play. And England, the thing with England is like I feel like they just suck out the life of the game. So even if the other team wanted to play, with the way England plays, it makes it hard for you to enjoy watching them. So England, I definitely agree. Like they've been a horrible team to watch, and honestly, I didn't really expect better. I don't rate England. I don't rate Southgate. Like that's how he plays. He sets them up to play like they're a tier B team that don't really have any superstars and they have to play a certain way. Like I feel he's better fitted to more of the smaller teams, or like an Italy where you can decide to just again suck out the life of the game and hope to win that way.
yeah,
But
um, yeah, I mean, that's definitely like an interesting perspective. But now I guess we get to see more exciting games, more exciting matchups. I like the fact that some of the teams that we didn't even expect to be in this position are definitely like pushing for, I guess, like a better finish. For example, like Austria, they finished top in their group, like which is like insane to me,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
considering like the
yeah,
type of group they were in, right? And yeah, but once you get to the knockout stages, you lose and you go home. So that's really where you're forced to take a risk, or you just decide to play conservative, and it goes to penalties. And when it goes to penalties, there's no way to escape that. You know.
yeah.
But
But
yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, I guess we can get into the knockout ties. One thing I wanted to mention, honestly, is how you have and before I even go into this, another team, what's getting a shout out is Georgia, as they're in the round of 16. I'm sure most predictions would have them finish last in their group, right? So I mean, shout out to them. I mean, they didn't face the best Portugal team, but even the team they faced, they shouldn't be beaten, in my opinion. So, them still winning that game is a huge plus.
Yep.
But yeah, so Andrew, you want to say something?
I was about to say, I feel like aside from what Georgia played today, I feel like Portugal gave them like a way to just qualify, if anything. You know, I don't like
Yeah,
when teams do that thing in cups, but it is what it is. And I also think the as like what Tosin said earlier about third place finishing like the people that are, best loser. I think that's really kind of like diluted the intensity of group stage. There's a lot of teams that just settled for, we'll just make it as third best loser and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And like there's in the French group, France didn't score a goal. All those kind of things. England scored one goal or two goals. That's not the cup that we've known these
I
people
mean
to
France
play.
scored one though, just a
Own
penalty.
goal.
No, no,
Oh,
they
oh,
also had a
Mbappe's
penalty
penalty.
from Mbappe.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's be real, man. Like in any other competition, if France did this, they'll be out, so they'll be last in their group.
yeah,
But
and I think
it's
Denmark
what it
also
is.
qualified without winning a game or something like that.
Yeah, all this weird
Right,
stuff,
like they tied 3 games and finished second. You know,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess it is what it is, man.
But
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 this knockout stage is going to be bloody. I can tell it'll be bloody.
one thing, England are lucky though because on the other side of the bracket, you have Spain, you have Germany, you have Portugal, you have France. And somehow England isn't on that side. And on England's side, England had the strongest team there. The next best is like Netherlands and Italy, which all things being equal, you'd expect England to beat those guys. But, England being England, we know they might not
England's
even
going
make it to the
to
final.
England is going. Yeah, they can't beat Italy. That's where their stuff
But
is. They're
still,
not better than Italy.
Yeah, but
So
Switzerland, that's not a definite game for Italy as well. Switzerland are definitely one of the teams in the tournament that you don't want to face.
like
yeah,
if
the
you're not
Swiss are really
careful,
good.
like they would beat you, right? So
Andrew, what do you think about the knockout stages? What's your take on it?
I think France and Portugal and also England and Italy facing. These are like the last two finals, and yeah, I feel like that's very interesting. I want to see how people are going to come out for their revenge in quotes. Um, but yeah, I think Spain will easily go over Georgia. I think Germany will easily go over Denmark. France,
Easily?
yeah. It's Germany. They are host nations, bro. Let's be honest. They
Did they
should.
lose? Did they lose or they tied? I think
They
they
haven't
tied.
lost yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and they
tied their
scored the
last
most
game.
goals, like seven
Mhm.
goals or so. So
I
yeah,
think Denmark will be a tough game for them. I expect them to win, but I think Denmark are like they defend like very very well. So
yeah.
yeah,
Then Portugal, Slovenia. I really don't think. I think that match is going to penalties because the Portuguese are
Really?
very, very interesting people, and Slovenia solid defense. All the games I've watched, if they're even going to concede, it's probably one. England can testify to how good of a defense Slovenia has. France, Belgium. Hopefully, we see entertaining football because it's been ridiculous from both teams, from France and Belgium in this tournament. So I don't know what to to predict for that because they've just been weird in this tournament. But if anything, I'll say I expect France to win and Mbappe
Andrew,
finally gets his
Andrew,
shooting.
I just wanna say something, and I don't know if you guys agree, but I think I'm starting to. I know we spoke about this in the previous episode, but I'm starting to realize a trend whereby like it almost feels like De Bruyne has to do everything for Belgium. Like
Yeah,
we also know they have like Trossard and things like that, but it feels like if De Bruyne doesn't like have an amazing game, Belgium don't have a chance because Lukaku needs four chances to score one, and even those four chances, like some of those things are on the plate, but because of how he finishes or how he makes it look, it doesn't look like like a good chance. Like I don't know if you guys saw the game today, but De Bruyne had a pass
yeah, and
like
he couldn't
across two or
finish it.
three
Yeah,
defenders, and because of how Lukaku hit the ball, it looked like a I don't know, like kind of like a difficult chance. But a player like Haaland or some of like the better strikers that we know, or it's on your stronger foot, right? You just need to play it across the goal, and that's an easy
he didn't
chance,
connect
right?
the ball correctly. Like his leg
Yeah,
didn't
but
touch the ball
it
correctly.
he was
It was
literally
his
right in
fault.
front of the
Yeah,
post. It was his fault. But then I think if with the way things are going, it almost feels like De Bruyne has to like score the goal, not just give the assist, you know.
yeah.
But hopefully, like Belgium can give us a good game, like you said. But yeah, carry on.
That reminds me, the game before Belgium's game, their second game when De Bruyne scored, it was literally the same. Lukaku was just scoring, they were canceling it, missing offside, all these things. De Bruyne had to go and score himself. It was like, bro, let me just shoot this thing. But yeah, so I feel that game will be very surprising. Uh, God help us, and France does what France is meant to do because France is ideally meant to walk over them. Because you can't be wasting those kind of chances against a big team like France. You will get punished.
Yep.
And Netherlands, Romania has also been so solid defensively. And I like the
Yeah,
way their
they top
fans
their
come
group
in.
too.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong side. In fact, Romania and Netherlands, I really don't know who's going. I can't say anything. I'm torn between the two. Austria, Turkey. Austria, amazing. Ragnar, what's his name? Ragnarok or the Man U former coach.
Yeah,
He's using that team as a science experiment. And they are listening to him. They are not even, when there's no ego in the team, everyone is just like following your instruction, following every single thing you say. That's Austria. Also, Turkey has good spirits. People forget Turkey is very close to Germany, and because of how close Turkey is to Germany, it's kind of like they're playing at home. So they have a bunch of fans there, and when they play, they turn up, and the atmosphere is very good for them. So hopefully that helps Turkey. So, but I'll take Austria over Turkey. England, Slovakia, God, I think it's just because of Southgate's name, because he likes South. It's not good. Everything he's doing is just going south. But hopefully, hopefully he gets the tactics right for this game. I think they played Slovakia in one of their qualifiers and one of their friendlies, and they were able to win them. And then hopefully they do the same for this round. If not, I won't be surprised if Slovakia, takes them to penalties and embarrasses them.
yeah. You need some light boost for that joke you just cracked, by the way.
The
For real,
Southgate
man.
one.
Southgate is
Yeah,
annoying.
man.
That's one of the
Then,
worst dad jokes I've ever heard in my life.
then Switzerland, Italy. That's a very tough game. Very, very tough. I won't
Hmm.
even. I can't actually decide. But because I'm wearing Italy's jersey, and because of the
Okay.
Italy blood that flows in me, I
The
would love to
Italian
see
blood.
Italy and England play in the semi-final. Sorry, in the quarterfinals. So I'll go with Italy. But Switzerland, man, amazing football by that team so far. But yeah, that's my
Solid,
take.
solid,
Okay, nice, nice. Tosin.
solid shout. I'll be quick here. I see Spain beating Georgia, although it's not like definite. Georgia have looked amazing. They have nothing to lose. I love teams that play like that, like especially in this stage of the tournament. Like anything for them is a win, right? So hopefully they can make it through. But Spain, anyways. Germany, I think this should be somewhat easy if they can get like a good goal, or like a goal in the first half. I think it's pretty straightforward. Portugal, Slovenia. Man, I'm tempted to be risky with this one, but just play it safe, man. Portugal. I think Ronaldo has a goal in that game because he hasn't scored. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any penalties for him to take advantage of. So hopefully
Damn.
he can
Ronaldo?
he can score an actual goal
Wow.
in this game.
Ronaldo don't
And
suffer.
France, Belgium. Honestly, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna go Belgium. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can come back and I'll be like, see, I predicted that. But Romania, Netherlands, I want Netherlands to go all the way, man. I want Netherlands to go all the way. So I'm going for them 100%.
Sorry, why?
Austria.
Why do you want Netherlands
I'm
to
a
go all
huge
the
fan.
way?
I'm a huge fan of Memphis Depay, and then we have obviously Liverpool's captain Van Dijk. We have Cody
Oh,
Gakpo. You know what I'm
just see,
saying?
just see
Gakpo has had a
Liverpool players.
very good, like, I feel like he has played very well this
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
tournament.
for
And
sure.
he has had some really, like, call it decisive or confident type goals that almost like you don't see him play with that much confidence with Liverpool. But like with Netherlands, like he moves with confidence.
No, I would say that he's more secure with the Netherlands team. Like, there's a lot of respect for him there, and he plays for a top team in the Premier League. So automatically, like, I feel like he knows he's kind of like guaranteed a spot as long as he's on form and he's available. With Liverpool, we still haven't figured out like where we play Gapo. Like he switches with um Darwin Nunes sometimes. Sometimes they play them together. It could be a little bit confusing for him. So, I guess that's why he's not as secure there. But yeah, I hope Netherlands make it through. Uh, Austria, Turkey. Um, this is a tough one too. But I'm gonna go with Austria. You know, Ragnarok has some sort of like tactics that he's been experimenting, like Andrew said, and it's working. It's worked for them. Sabitza is just one of those players that you never know what he can do in a game. They also have, I believe his name is Anatovic, and yeah, you just never know what to expect.
Yeah.
See,
England,
I like
go ahead.
something about that team again. Sorry for cutting you. The fact that
No, you good.
they called Alaba
Oh
and he's not
yeah, and he's
playing.
not playing. Yeah, I
Like they
love
know
that.
he's injured. Just for
Yeah.
team spirits. That's like really good. It's really good. And it's helping them.
Absolutely spot on. Um, England, Slovakia, England, man, they have to do it. The boys have to do it, But again, it's one of those teams where it's like I don't know. There's a comparison between England and Nigeria for me. Like they're just always bound to disappoint you. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is. Like
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
even with like Nigeria making it to the AFCON finals, like bro, like why? Why don't you just lose? Because this is a team you already beat in the group stages, only to go lose to them when we went up by a goal. Like
When it
I don't
matters the
know,
most.
man. Like just when it matters the most, I just feel like there's something missing. And again, like I said, like with England, I think they just need to take away that pressure of being expected to win. Just play the tournament. Just enjoy the tournament. Use your stars. Like I watched England today, and I could definitely say that there is no yesterday, sorry, there is no world class player on that English team. Zero. I don't care anymore. I'm not falling for all of this stuff. Like, because there's something about world class
You've been saying
players.
this.
You've been saying this? Oh,
I said this
but
in the last episode now. That
they know how to create
it's not about
chances.
talent.
Yeah. They know, like, world class players know how to create chances. They know how to make that final pass. They know how to make that finish. Like, with England, it just seems so.
One thing I'll say with that though is I don't know if I disagree or agree with your statements, but one thing I would say though is your coach matters sometimes, right? And I feel like Southgate has made it so hard for those guys to even put out their best, right? And I get your point. So just like as a world class player, regardless, you should always stand out or you would always stand out. But looking at how Southgate has set up that team, bruh, he's making it hard.
But there are also
Right.
moments in the game where a player of a certain caliber could take over. Like for example, like I see the way Saka plays, and I can tell that tactically he's been instructed to do certain things now, right? Because Saka has, for some reason, been tucked in a bit more. Where like typically at Arsenal, they allow him to take the entire right wing and take on like defenders. But now more so, he's always tucked in, like he's always trying to get that ball from like closer to like the middle of the pitch and then drive or pass it to Harry Kane. Like you barely see like him trying to take on players, and I think Saka has had like maybe one or two shots on target in this entire tournament in 3 games. That's horrible. Like that's not even like that is clear that it's from like the coach's instructions, but as a player, if I go through a game and I don't take a shot in the first half, best believe I'm coming out in the second half and I'm taking 3 or 4 shots. I don't care. Like it's kind of like Foden was trying some of those things. They might bench him the next game, but we could see in the previous game that he was more assertive. So
Yeah. Just,
that's it.
just to add there, Sha,
Yeah.
Loki, I
Foden
feel
is not
which
playing the next game.
He's not playing.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean
yeah, some family
it's not
issues.
definite that he's not playing,
No,
but he's
the
currently
reason,
left the camp.
yeah, he's coming back on the 6th. He's not playing the next game.
Yeah. But anyways, like I feel the other thing which I've always said, I think Southgate just isn't a manager that can deal with, you know, a very talented team, is also being able to manage the fact that you have these guys are all superstars for their teams, right? And to your point, Tosin, how can a player like Saka not be taking, X amount of shots in a game, right? But it's like you can make that case for everyone around him. You can make that case for Kane. You can make that case for Foden. You can make that case for Bellingham, right? And it's like at the end of the day, if you've made that case for everyone in the attack, then it's like, okay, how many shots are they really going to be taking if each of those guys are putting in that number of shots, right? But then again, that's why it's down to the manager, because you have to find a way to manage the fact that okay, Saka is arguably the best player on his team or a top three player very easily. Foden the same thing on his team.
Yeah,
Bellingham arguably. Kane, same thing. Rice, same thing. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like your job is not even just about setting them up. Like you also have to deal with the fact that okay, these are all players with ego. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And you have to find a way to, you know, bring out the best in them and then help them play together. But again, Southgate just seems to not be really doing anything to affect that.
yeah. So hopefully England win that game, but if they don't, again, it would be disappointing, but no surprises there.
Yeah.
Next tournament, whatever. And then Switzerland, Italy. Mm, Italy, man, that last minute goal is such a like defining moment in a lot of teams, right? Like it just builds your spirit to the next level. Where it's like, you know, it's a goal that almost like feels like this is meant to be for us.
Yeah.
You know
It
what I'm
happened
saying?
for a
Like it
reason.
happened for a reason. Like the fact that they already won it last year, I don't think they can do the last time, sorry. I don't think they can
Yeah.
do it again. But it's just so encouraging, so motivating for a team to have those moments where it's like it's not like everything is in your favor, but it just feels like this is bound to happen
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us, you know.
Yeah.
And
Do you want to guess our chant? Our
Can't
Italian
say our
chant?
chant.
what was
It's
that?
coming
Yeah.
home.
It's coming home.
I swear to God. Why isn't it troll England since the last Euros? So it's coming home. It's coming to Rome. It's coming
Right?
Rome.
Come on, man.
Um, but yeah, so any more additions there to sing for that game?
Nah, that's it for me, honestly. Italy probably win that game and see them in the next round.
Okay, okay. So I think for me, um, I definitely would say for Spain, Georgia, I think Spain for sure. That should be a relatively, I guess this round of games typically are not like just a walkthrough, but I see Spain winning that relatively easy. For Germany, Denmark, I definitely have Germany. It's one of those games that if Germany aren't careful, Denmark can steal. And I think there's a huge potential for that game to go extra time because again, Denmark defend very well, but I feel like Germany have all the players you need to like break lines and all that stuff, right? Like guys like Musiala, especially like where it's like those guys will make it difficult for them to defend compared to when they play teams like England that's almost like make it easier for you to defend, sure. But
Kaide,
yeah,
do
I
you
would
think? Sorry to cut you
yeah,
off. Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
think Sane is having a poor tournament, or like like what would you? Yeah, Andrew, definitely you agree
Yeah.
with me.
I think he is for sure. I
Do you
think
think it's
Sane
because he's coming on, or like what like well, he's not
I think
starting?
Sane has been poor of recent, if I'm being
Yeah,
very honest. Like he has his moments where you're like, oh, there's still a player in there type moments, right? But I think Sane has been poor in general of recent.
San is one of my favorite players, like in modern football. I've always just liked him since the Schalke 04 days. But I just think he's not being used in the way he's meant to be used. Sane is a speedster. Sane is a player that plays fully on the wing, and I feel like most players have been, sorry, most managers, aside from Guardiola, have been trying to bring him closer to the middle, try to make him play a bit more center. It doesn't work. Clearly, it has never worked, but managers still try it. You can tell that he's struggling, but he's
Yeah.
doing his best. But because of his natural ability to be a fast player, you can still manage that kind of, you know. But that's not the Sane at full potential. It's playing like a 60, 70%, if anything.
And the issue with that is that it almost looks like he's forcing it sometimes. Like
Yeah,
when he could make the easier play, you can see him trying to take players on and losing the ball in certain areas and just taking like random shots. Like he wants to have that quick like impact that
yeah.
it's quite kind of difficult to have without getting like a complete feel of the game. So Kaide.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, man. And I like Sane as well, but yeah, he's been underwhelming, and I never looked at it that way, Andrew. But I think that's a great point, right?
Yep.
Like when he's on the wings, like he's at his best. But
Remember him at
these days,
City.
they try to bring him closer. Like he's still playing on the wing, but like they try to bring him closer to the middle as opposed to like being an out and out winger. But yeah, so next game, Portugal, Slovenia. I think Portugal for sure. Is one of those games too that I think would be relatively easy, right? And again, I feel like a lot of those teams, especially the underdogs, to the point you guys made earlier about this whole tournament football thing of like just making it hard to score against you and then just waiting for your opportunity. I feel like that's the approach the smaller teams will take. So like Slovenia, for instance, I feel like that's their approach. So the key to the game for most of the heavy favorites is you have to score quick and early, right? Like, and quick and early does not need to mean first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes, but like you have to make sure you're winning that game at halftime. And that way, that's where the potential to score 2, 3 comes. But when you're playing 0-0 with these guys up until the 60th, 70th minute, I feel like that's kind of like danger zone, right? Where now they now actually start to believe that, okay, we can get something from this game, right? And any team would be ready and willing to go all the way. So like extra time and penalties, they have nothing to lose, right? So yeah, but I'm going Portugal there. France and Belgium. Yeah, I think France for sure. Belgium don't have what it takes. France haven't been serious this tournament, I must say, but Belgium are just a much more unserious team, right? Like KDB is the only person you can really and truly depend on that team, and man, even KDB too has had his moments with Belgium where when you really need him to show, you know, he has been questionable too. So
We call that the Paul George.
so yeah, man. So I definitely would go France there, and France is, France. They're a team that they've won before, right? So, and I always say like with teams that have won before, sometimes they just wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like they can be having a poor run, quote unquote, and then it's just like, okay, guys, it's business time essentially. Like you guys need to wake up, and they have champions on that team, right? So yeah, I think they definitely can. Romania, Netherlands. I think this will be a tough one too, but I'm just going to have to go Netherlands. Romania have been really good this tournament, at least defending wise, and Netherlands have shown signs of unseriousness too. So if they don't come their A game that day, they can definitely lose. But I'm going with them. Austria Turkey would be a tough one. I see that game going to extra time, but I'm going with Austria. I think they're the better like they're the better team at least setup wise. Like they seem like the better team so far. So, but Turkey is a team with guys that can surprise you, right? And those guys are technically gifted in that sense. We have England, Slovakia. Definitely going to England. England to tough it out. You know, give us one nice boring game as usual, but they'll tough it out and win the game. And then for Switzerland, Italy, I think that's also going to be a very tricky game. But I'm going Italy. Honestly, I feel some of these games there's a very high chance of upsets, and upset not necessarily meaning like a big upset, but like this Italy game, I feel Switzerland have a chance of upsetting quote unquote. Romania, Netherlands, I feel like Romania have a chance there to for a little upset. I feel Germany, Denmark, Loki, there's a chance there too for Denmark, depending on how clinical they are. But they have Holland in front, so I don't expect any of that clinical. So but yeah, I feel we'd see a couple of surprising results, maybe like one or two games where we're like, okay, yeah, we didn't think it would go this way. But yeah, those are my own predictions.
I think we all had quite similar to some extent like
Yeah,
predictions. Like
And
yeah.
that's why
we,
I know something. I know our prediction would not click
See,
because it's too
but you
similar.
see, because it's just hard going against some of these picks, right? In the sense where it's just like it's hard to like stand on, say, Switzerland beating Italy. It is possible, but it's just like if I was putting my money on it, I'm not going to put my money on Switzerland
Yeah.
beating Italy, but it's very very possible, right? So yeah, and I mean the good thing about this is we'll be here next week right after these games to speak on our predictions and then predict for the next round. As it goes on. So yeah,
I know most definitely. I think that would be exciting as well. And I think we wanted to bring on one of our listeners towards our next episode. Like we want to know what you. I know you guys always speak of like probably vote about what you think and scores like that, but we wanted to have you know one of our listeners on here as well, just to give us their take on what they felt about the tournament and also like their own predictions for the next round. So you guys should look out for that. And yeah,
yeah. And I think that's it from me, Andrew. Any additions again?
No, just thank you for listening so far.
Yeah. Thanks for
Really
listening
cool.
so far, guys, and please leave your own predictions as well. Let's know what you think about this matchups before they kick off. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
sounds good.
Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.